Hey, a brand new episode of the Happy Productive Podcast is about to begin. It's time to be inspired by simple and actionable solutions for you and your business. If you're an established entrepreneur or just laying down the first brick of your future empire, the mantra is the same. We will flip any failure into a positive and use it to our advantage. This show is all about turning coal into diamonds. With the right plan and mindset, anything is possible. I'm Jennifer Dawn, your host, business coach, and founder of Best Planner Ever, and I'm here to help you achieve all your ambitious goals. Success is closer than you think. Let's do this. Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's show of the Happy Productive Podcast. I am here with Aytekin. He is the founder and CEO of Jotform. Now, I don't know about you guys, but we use Jotform in our business, and so I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. Jotform is a leading online form and productivity software used by 18 million business owners, creators, and individuals. Aytekin is a productivity and automation expert, and he has also recently authored a book, Automate Your Busywork. Welcome to the show.
Great to be on your show, Jennifer.
Thank you so much. So would you mind just taking a quick minute and just tell us a little bit about your journey with Jotform? Like, how did you come up with this idea? How did you grow the software to so many users? I'd love to just hear it directly from you.
Sure. So I started Jotform 17 years ago. It's a very long time ago. And before Jotform, I was working for a media company in New York. And one of my duties was to create forms. Like we had over 100 websites. And I was creating all these forms, contact forms, registration forms, polls, surveys, payment forms, things like that. And I actually didn't like it much. I wanted to, and I was a developer, I was a programmer, and I didn't like it much. And I wanted to find a way to use a product so that I don't have to do it myself. And I looked for one and I couldn't find a good one. And, I thought that maybe if I start my company one day, that's what I'm going to do. And I was there for 5 years. And after that, I really did that. I quit my job. The next day, I started working on Jotform. And 2006, I released the first version of Jotform, and rest is the history. And we did not only help people automate their forms, but one of our biggest goals is help people automate the rest as well. Because people don't create forms just to create forms, just to collect data. They create forms so that they can do the other things. If this is like a registration for forms for something, someone is registering and then something else happens, right? There's a schedule. There's, the data needs to be sent by email. The information, maybe you need to generate documents, create PDF documents from them. You need to create workflows, approvals, We released Jotform Sign recently. Maybe you need to sign documents after you fill the form. So you have to do all these different things. So we are not just automating the forms in the first step, but we are also helping people automate the rest of the way. And I've been helping so many people. So we have 20 million users, and I have been helping so many people automate things. That's how I started Jotform. And that's also kind of related to the book. Maybe I can also talk about that.
Yes, we're definitely going to talk about the book, because I feel like this is where I'm at in my life, that I have got to automate more and more and more. And I've always been a big fan of technology. I had 2 software companies myself. And so I know the ups and downs that, software can bring. And so I'm always fascinated by this. We're going to dive into the book. But first, I would love to ask you, were there times when you were growing Jotform that you felt like, I just want to give up. This is a lot harder than it should be? Or what helped you? Or if you wouldn't mind just sharing one of those stories about a time when you were like, I don't want to do this anymore, or that you were really frustrated or burned out or something like that. And share, how did you move through that to get to 20 million users?
Yeah. It actually happens a lot. And I know a lot of startup founders. I know people who have big or small companies, and we all have the same thing. We have ups and downs. And when it's down, it feels like the end of the world. It feels like, you want to give up. Why do I have to do that? Like, I could be an employee and like receive a salary and then, not care about it. But for me, the ups have been like much bigger. And so it's the downs never really kind of like changed my mind. And I really cared about my happiness, keeping my head happy, keeping it sane, taking a lot of vacations. I never worked weekends. I never worked weekends, even in the beginning of when I started Jotform. And like today, I have like 3 kids. And, every morning I put them to the bus to take them to the school. When they come back, I get them from the bus. And then, every weekend I take them to like basketball and I spend time with them, playing with them. And it's just those times are kind of like, that's when I actually, get rid of that stress. So I think it's very important that you don't put everything in your business. Like you have to have like a life as well. And it's actually hard, like having 3 kids. And I'm home because like my third kid is actually a baby, like 4 months old. So I'm at home since she was born. So I have 2 boys and now a girl. And I've been home during this time helping my wife. And this was great because I was spending more and more time with my family. So I think it's really important that, we have a life outside of the work so that, if when things get worse, like when things are bad with business, I can always, count on my, home life so I can forget about it a little bit. And then when I come back fresh, I actually have better ideas. Like I also like, hey, it's not that bad. Like I was thinking it was really bad maybe on Friday. And on Monday, when I'm back, it feels like, it's not that bad. And everything has a solution. And also, I always had this bootstrapper mindset. Like, I never received any funding. I never received any debt. So I always from the beginning, I always have this idea that I will hire someone if I have like the 1 year salary for that person. So I always kept it safe. That's why I don't feel bad about it, even if it's downturn, even if like business seems like, things are going to get worse, there's a recession coming, people talk about that. But because I have this, long-term view and because I don't overextend myself, I don't have to feel that much stress. Like, in good times, we hire faster, we have more expenses, we advertise more. And when things are not that good, like we slow down our hiring, we cut down our expenses. So as long as like we are aware of like how things are going, and every month I check like how much we earned and how much we spent, and then it always has to be on the green. Like, we always have to earn more than we spend. As a bootstrapper, you have to do that. Like you cannot just, get millions of dollars and then, forget about that. And that actually meant that slow growth for us. And we have been, growing slowly, but I think it's good. It's more healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been 17 years. So it's been a long time. But, I enjoy it. I still enjoy the work. I still don't have a second product like, Jotform. I remember like even 10 years ago, someone employee coming to Jotform and saying, hey, are we going to build a second product? No, I was saying like, we haven't solved the problems of our existing users. Like they need this and that. And that continued and that never ended. And we still continue to solve problems for our customers. And I think it will continue for a long time as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You said so many good things. So many good things. And for those of you guys who are listening, a couple of the things that really resonated with me is that while you were growing this company, you did not work weekends. I know right now there are people listening who are growing their business right now and they are working weekends and they are working 7 days a week. And so I would love, because I really want them to hear this, because the ability to step away from a problem and come back to it, like you said, where on Friday it seems like, oh my gosh, this is huge, but you take the weekend off, you come back on Monday and you're like, okay, wait a second, I've got this. It's okay. That is so powerful to be able to do that. And when you're working 7 days a week, you really kind of lose that ability. So, what was the mindset behind or the decision that you made of just, I'm not working weekends, because you just set such a healthy boundary for yourself? And so, was that an easy boundary to set? Did you have to work at it a little bit? Talk to me a little bit about how that looked.
Yeah. I think it has to do with why I started my own company. I did that because I really value in freedom. Like I didn't, start a Jotform so that, I can build myself a prison or like, just, get stuck with it, just spend my whole life doing the same thing. I start because, I really love product mindset. Like I really have this, I love building a product. I love seeing people use my product. That's like my biggest passion. But I also value freedom. Like, I also value that I am independent. I'm free to work on what I want. And if I was like working like 24/7, weekends, then I wouldn't be doing that. I would be losing the personal freedom as well. And it was very important for me to have that in my personal life as well. And because of that, I always had kept that mindset. The other thing is like I have been always have this long vision. Like when I first started Jotform in 2006, it was all free. Like we didn't have a paid version. But because my first goal was to make sure that we have a good product, people use it, and we solve all the problems. And it was me, I say we, but in the first year, I hired my first employee, and then second year, second employee. And we continued like that. But for the first year, I was the first employee, first person, and then there was one employee, but it was all free. And I had this long-term goal, like, we are going to build this great product and then everything will take care of itself. And that belief really worked out for me. To be able to do that, I think it was important for me to have that life balance, to have that long-term vision. Like, many people talk about, okay, we are going to work for 3 years, the Y Combinator mindset, right? Like Paul Graham's articles talk about like startups about like compressing your business life into like 5 years so that you start a startup and then you sell it for millions of dollars
Mm-hmm.
and then you are free. But what do you do after that? Like, right? You're going to get bored. Time to time I take a long vacations. Like one summer, my wife and I, like we just traveled Europe for 3 months. And at the end of 3 months, I was like, I'm so bored. Like this is the same thing, like, museum. It was so great. Definitely. It was great. I appreciate it, but 3 months was like too much. At some point, what I like about business is like there's always like next problem. There's always the next challenge, and you're always, improving, growing the company, growing our product. It's just like if you're just sitting like, retired, early retired. I think early retiring is like too much. Maybe after some age, I think it's a good idea to relax and, but you don't want to do that, I think, in your early age. Just you have just so much to give to the world.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why, I'm just taking it slowly.
Yeah.
And it worked well for me.
Yeah, it's worked out really well for you. And I love that what you said in the beginning about wanting the freedom and that you didn't want the business to be a prison. Like that's a really strong, powerful analogy, because I know right now there's some people listening who probably feel like their businesses are starting to feel like a prison that they've built themselves into. And so when you're listening, I really want you to hear this and know that you get a choice in how you build your business. You get to decide if you're going to build yourself a prison or build yourself an avenue for you to be creative and run your own show and do things that you want the way that you want to do them. So that's really powerful. And I'm with you. Like maybe someday I'll sell my business. I don't know. And I know that there are people out there, and there's nothing wrong with it, who want to grow a business and sell it quickly. And that's fantastic. I don't want to sell my business anytime soon, but I look at my business as like when you want to sell a house. And you want to sell your house. And so you go in and you fix everything up and you make it really nice. And then you're like, well, maybe I don't want to sell the house because it's really nice right now. So you might as well just like fix up the house and live in it and really love it and appreciate it. And then down the road, if you're like, yeah, you want to sell, great. It's ready to sell. But if you don't want to sell it, you can actually really appreciate it Because it's a very different mindset when you grow your business with the I'm going to sell this one day versus I'm kind of building myself, or I've created a job for myself, or I've basically created a prison for myself. It can go in a lot of different ways there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's actually why I kind of went into automation a little bit. So a few years into Jotform, like it was like 3 or 4 years after I started Jotform, it kind of a little bit turned into a prison, like because I was spending all my time with busy work. Like I was spending morning to night, like in emails, like all my day was in emails. I was doing like, I was a business owner. I had like 3, 4 employees, and I was doing accounting, legal, HR, ordering supplies for the office. It was kind of, I was like a slave to the business, and I wasn't spending my time on the product, and I wasn't really excited about how things turned out. Like I started my own business because I really valued freedom. I want to build my own product, just take the direction I want. But now I was like spend all my time with this busy work, like so much busy work. Right at this moment, like something else happened. A competitor showed up, and Google came out with Google Forms, and a big company just came into the ring. And like now I have to compete with Google, and I'm not even spending my time well in my product. So this was a turning moment for me. And I decided, okay, I'm going to spend, and I have been helping people automate things. Like we help people automate things with forms, and then after that they do a lot of like forms are the first step of the journey, and during that journey we help them automate many things. And here I am, I'm doing everything manually. Like I'm helping people automate things, I'm doing everything manually. And that was a turning moment for me, and I decided, okay, we are going to start using automation. Like we are going to automate everything as much as possible so that we can actually spend our time on the important things. And the biggest one was like spend our time improving our product, growing our product, getting more people to use our product, but, having a greater product. And that really made a big difference when I started automating things. I started with the emails, instead of spending like almost all my day with emails, I was able to reduce that to 2 hours. And I can talk about how I did that. I can go into the details. I started automating everything else in my, business, all those accounting, legal, HR,
Yeah.
Onboarding employees, things like that, and that really made a difference. And that's what I think one of the biggest reasons Jotform is so successful today, because we were able to spend our time I was able to spend my time on our product, as opposed to all those busy work. That's why I decided to write the book as well. And that's why, we have so many automation features.
Yeah, that was my question, because it seemed like that would be the natural progression of to why you wrote your book. But okay, first I have to say, when Google comes into your space, like, did you not have like a heart attack? Because seriously, like if tomorrow Google came into my space, it would be very difficult not to just be like, oh, we're done, right? When a major player like that comes into your space. So I'm just curious, like when that happened, like, was there a moment of panic, or was it like, I got this? Like, how did you really feel when that happened?
I think I felt really, bad, because I knew that like if I have to compete with Google, I have to get really better. Like I have to really put things in order, and I have to really improve my product. And if I continue like this product is going to get old, and this product is going to we are not going to be able to compete with Google. And Google has like so many users, and they put their product within Google Drive, which is, hundreds of millions of people use that. And so if we have to compete with them, like we have to get so good, like 10 times better, so that, people prefer us. I think that actually helped me, because that helped me focus on the product, make our product better. And I think that was a good challenge.
Yeah.
Stress is like is the bad word, right? Like we are always stressed. But if you can put that stress or that challenge into some good goal, like if you can really get determined, let's say you're an underdog team and you're playing against a champion, right? It's actually you have so much more to gain. And that team, can see you as like a, small team, they don't worry about you, but you put all your energies there, like you put all your focus to beating them. I feel like that's like that, being an underdog is sometimes a good thing. It helps you become more motivated. And I think that was the case. So maybe, I panicked for a day, but, the next day I was, really focused on putting things in order.
I love that so much. Okay, you guys. So the book is called Automate Your Busywork. I have to hear, how did you tame the email inbox? I feel like my email is like the bane of my existence. And honestly, if all I did 8 hours a day was sit and just answer emails, it just feels like that could literally be a full-time job. So, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are listening who feel the same. So how did you do it? How did you tame? How did you automate? How did you do this with your email inbox?
Yeah. An average office worker today receives 175 emails a day. I read it somewhere. I don't remember the actual study. And we entrepreneurs, we receive like hundreds of emails every day.
Yeah.
And I was also doing that. And the reason I was spending so much time in emails was because we have inboxes, and inboxes are all full of things. And we have to review them. We have to find the most important emails. Like, we have to make sure that we take care of them. We have to make sure we don't lose them. And inbox zero is great, but it's not enough. Like, you are still spending so much time on emails, even with inbox zero, like keeping your inbox empty. Now that you are spending all your day cleaning up your inbox. So I first had this like vision that what if, like, instead of seeing my emails, like my email inbox by time, like, instead of staying in the time order, what if I could see my emails in priority order? Mm-hmm. So the top priority email is at the top. The email that you don't care about is at the bottom. Like, if you receive a spam, it goes to the bottom. And if my wife emails me, or if our VP of HR emails me, that's at the top, right? So I had this vision that if I could have this priority-based inbox, and Gmail has this priority inbox feature, it never works. I never heard anybody say that it works, and I couldn't make it work. So that's not a solution. So I started trying all these different products. Like, I went to this product that says, like, we are using AI. Doesn't work. Doesn't do that. Like, I tried like 10 different products, and at the end I said, while I was trying them, I actually figured out like exactly what I needed. And then, I thought, hey, I don't actually need to go anywhere. Like, Gmail actually has all the features I need. So I only needed 2 features: the labels on Gmails and the filters. So what I did was I created 3 labels, level 1, level 2, and level 3. And I started creating these filters. So if VP of HR emails me, it goes to level 1. The publisher of my book is Wiley, for example. I set out that filter for them as well. Like, if someone from Wiley.com emails me, it goes to my level 1. So it's just very easy to build these filters on Gmail. Just they have like so much advanced capabilities. Like, you can even like use brackets and things like that. So you have so much features there. And I was thinking maybe I could use like AppScript. Gmail has this like coding platform where you can actually do that. And I never needed that because the filters are so powerful. And I did that. For level 1 is like the top priority email. And the second level was for me, if someone sent me a direct email, that goes to my level 2. People I know, if someone I know sends me a direct email, that goes to my level 2. And I built that as well using filters. And level 3 was like the other emails that I care about, like the newsletters I follow or reports I receive within the company, or like if there's an email thread where I'm part of. So level 3 is about just reading, no action. Level 1 and level 2 is more about like if I have to get back to them. And everything else just drops down to the default inbox, which I don't look. So here's the big one. Here's the big step. I don't go to my Gmail inbox directly. Instead, I have these bookmarks on my browser. So when I'm ready to look at my emails, and I never look at my emails in the morning. My mornings are for the deep work. I start looking at them afternoon, but I will just click on level 1 and then I will see the top priority email. Let's say I'm between meetings, I have 10 minutes. I will just click on level 1 and I will process those emails, like reply to them and make sure that there's nothing important. And then once I clean level 1, I click on the level 2 bookmark, and then I process it as well. And that's how I do. And I will only look at my inbox. I will only clean my inbox like time to time, like once a month. I still have to do that because sometimes a filters doesn't catch something. So I create a new filter for that. But other than that, it's just full of like, sales or like spam emails. Yeah. And this really worked for me. And this allows me to just look at the important email first. And then I look at my level 1 every day, of course. Level 2, if I'm not busy, every day. And a level 3 once a week. And that allows me to not just save time, but also keep it sane. Like, I don't have to worry about if I missed something, if I missed an important email. So it's all there. And this worked great for me.
Oh, I love it so much. I love it so much. And so helping people to automate all their busy work, obviously you wrote a book about it. And so talk to me just a little bit about the book itself and like, what is it going to help business owners to do?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very useful. And I just released the book a month ago, and it's doing well. When it released, we were on Wall Street Journal's bestseller list. Like we were like the third that week, and then we continue to be in the list. And it's going well so far, and I'm receiving good response about the book. But I think the main idea is that we are spending so much time with busy work. Like we are all drowning in busy work. And the big problem is the priority, just like the emails. Like we have this priority problem everywhere, not just in emails. Everything we do has this priority problem. And one of the advice I have in the book is something called time audit. So you could use like your phone's alarm to, remind you every hour so that like you can do this for a week. Every top of the hour, make a note, like how did you spend your time? Like what did you do during the last hour? And at the end of the week, you can total them up and ask yourself 2 questions. What should I spend my time on and what shouldn't I spend my time on? And the second question is more important. Like when you look at your week, did you actually, like if you put it on a spreadsheet, maybe you can make things that you shouldn't be spending your time on red, and then the hours that were really important work, like deep work and really creative work, or the work that really makes difference, you can make them green. Like, is it all green? Is it all red? For most people, it's mostly red. And because we are spending so much time on busy work, and that's where we need to start automating things. And I think it's important that in the beginning, we figure out like how we are spending our time on, like what we are spending our time on, so that we can find ways to automate them. And even if you're not going to automate them, if you did this exercise, like, knowing like what you are spending your time on is really useful exercise, so that you can actually, even if you don't automate them, maybe you will decide that, hey, I'm going to batch this. Like I'm going to just do this once a week. I'm not going to automate it, but I'm going to do it all together so that I don't spend so much time on it. So you can make decisions like that if you start like auditing your work. And I call this, like, talk about this on the divide and conquer chapter. So like there are three steps in this, the automation flywheel framework I talk about in the book. And the first one is divide and conquer. And during this time, you figure out how you are spending your time on, what kind of workflows you have. Because most of the time, like, we are not doing one-time tasks. Like, we are actually doing workflows. We are spending our time on workflows. Like, so we have to wait for a client to send an answer. Like, workflow can include like multiple steps, and you cannot just finish them at once many times. Like, you have to, maybe send an email, send a reminder, receive something from a customer. So it gets very complex, and it becomes really harder to automate them. But you will find that once you actually put those workflows on paper, if you can just draw them, and I describe how to draw those workflow diagrams in the book. And it's very easy, actually. You don't actually need, the book. You can just anybody can do flowcharts. It's basic flowcharts.
Mm-hmm.
If you can just draw like what kind of workflows you have and how you spend your time on, that's also a great exercise because you know how you spend your time. So the first step is divide and conquer. You figure out like what's happening, like what kind of workflows you have.
Mm-hmm.
The second step is design and implement, which is like you're designing your automations, you're designing and streamlining your work, and then you're implementing your automations. During this step, you figure out like how you spend your time on, you're trying to find solutions.
Mm-hmm.
An hour of automations can save you a year of work. If you spend your time really automating things, you're going to get like, it's like compound interest. I know that it's hard to automate things because you say like, hey, I've been doing this by myself. I'm fine.
Right.
I can do this myself. It takes me like a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But maybe you do that couple of minutes, 10 times every day.
10 times every day, times every day. I know.
The worst part is it's not just like the time. It's also the focus and the energy. Like
that's right.
You're spending your focus on things that doesn't matter.
Yep.
While the important things are like there waiting for you.
Yep.
And the important things like deep work requires like attention. Like you cannot decide, okay, I'm going to do deep work. And at the same time, like I'm going to send answer a call every, 15 minutes. It doesn't work. Like you have to time box it. You have to put your time so that like you can do creative work. You can work on a strategy for your business. Maybe you can improve your product. You can improve your service. You can document something in your business. All these things, like all these deep work requires attention. And if you are just, losing your attention to this, all these, like, even if they are small, like they interrupt you. They interrupt your work, your deep work.
Right.
And that's why it's important that you decide like what you shouldn't be spending your time on. And you first automate those things. You put the time to automate those things. And there are solutions. There are lots of solutions. We are living in this age of automation. Whatever you spend your time on, I recommend that you go to like g2.com
mm-hmm.
and you find the category about the things you do. Let's say, you're actually spending a lot of time with calendaring, right? And in this age, I don't think anybody should be like manually scheduling anything because we have like so many calendaring tools that they can handle everything. So you go to g2.com and I recommend that you don't even have to read the products. You read the reviews of the products and read how people use that product. And that's going to tell you a lot about, and that's going to actually give you more ideas. And many times we are startup founders, we are bootstrappers, like we are low on cash. I don't want to give like $10 or $20 a month on something that I can do myself. But here's the thing, that $10 or $20 is actually taking away so much of your time and attention that you can put things, more important things in order.
Yeah.
And many times like products are free. Like Jotform is free for if you receive less than 100 submissions per month.
Yeah.
Jotform is free. And if you need to automate, for example, let's say you want to get feedback from your clients or your employees, that you can just create a Jotform form and you're not going to receive more than 100 submissions a month, and it's going to be all free for you. Yeah. So a lot of products are like this, and this is called like no code products like Jotform that allow you to build things yourself that are flexible. And I think we are in the middle of this three revolutions. The first one is software is eating the world, and this was said by is Anderson, right? Anderson.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It was more than a decade ago.
Uh-huh.
And he said that like everything is turning into software.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the past, we would go to a travel agent and we would, tell them, okay, I want to go to a warm place. But today you have the freedom to research your own, vacation, decide what you're going to do.
Right.
And then this actually gives us so much more power because we can do everything ourselves on the internet.
Yeah.
And this just this is great for small businesses because in the past you couldn't do many things, but today you can do them because they are available. Like the second revolution is the no-code revolution. products like Jotform, like they work on cloud. They have free versions or like they're low cost. In the past, like big companies like SAP, big companies could buy SAP and then they could automate everything.
Yep.
But small companies didn't have that power.
Yeah.
But today, small companies have all kinds of software products that are available and they are highly customizable. You basically do your own, you build your own solutions using their products, their flexibility, just like what I did with Gmail, like with customizing the Gmail for my needs. Small business can also customize all these products and build their own solutions. And the third one is the AI revolution. And that's just, coming, and that's coming so powerful. I think it's going to, make these other revolutions like 10 times more powerful, because all these products like Jotform, they're going to become much more powerful because they include AI in them.
Right.
And they're going to become much more flexible. I think this is a great time for small businesses. Like, you can automate anything. You can build your own solutions. You just have to take the time. I know it's kind of hard. Like, even for me sometimes, like, I have been doing this for a long time this way. Why should I automate it?
Right.
And it's sometimes hard to learn a new technology. It's confusing. It's risky. Hey, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to take a risk. And what if it doesn't work out? But every time I say that, and when I automate something, I regret why I didn't do that any
sooner
before.
Yeah.
Any sooner, yeah.
Oh, I love it. There's so many good things, you guys. And I don't know about you guys listening, but like, I am so inspired right now to go back, look at my schedule and figure out everywhere that I can automate. I know for me, a big one is I'll just do it myself. I find myself saying, and I literally have to remind myself over and over again to make sure I'm always delegating and developing my team. So that way it's not on my plate. But I know some of you listening are falling into that trap as well, of just like, oh, it'll just take me a minute. I'll just do it myself. But it's not the minute right now. It's the minute that you have to add up, multiply day after day, month, week, year after year, that you are losing when you just, do it yourself instead of automating it or delegating it or developing your people or any of those things. So this has been such a great conversation. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you, Jennifer, for having me.
Yeah. And you guys, if you don't have your copy yet, Automate Your Busywork. That is the book. And I assume, can people get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble? Like, where can they get the book?
Yes, you can get it on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and I have a website, personal website as well. My first name, last name.com, aytekin.com. And you can actually, read a free chapter on my website as well. So, yeah, I hope that, it helps you automate your business.
Fabulous. All right, you guys, we will put the link to the book in the show notes. So if you want to go grab a copy or visit Aytekin's website, you can get the free copy or the free chapter of the book, which is super awesome. I'm actually going to go buy my copy right now because I'm like, I know this can help me so much. So thank you again for being here with me today. Great conversation. You guys get the book. If you love it, please leave a review. Anybody who's ever written a book, reviews make a big difference. And so if you love the book, leave a review. But don't send an email because it probably will get a level 3 and you're not going to get a response. I'm just kidding. It's going to get filtered out. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. You guys get out there and have a happy, productive day. I hope you found today's episode of the Happy Productive Podcast inspiring. Every successful business is formed by a set of small, consistent, and attainable steps. If you want to learn more, come visit us at jenniferdawncoaching.com to take your next step and learn how to meet your business goals. On our website, you're going to find free resources along with links to the life-changing coaching programs that have transformed the lives of so many of our clients, including the Coaching Academy and our Unbreakable retreats. Many of them started their journey by listening to this podcast. That's it. Thank you for listening and stay tuned for our next episode.